Hey, family. It's organically me, Tamika, again, signing on. I just wanted to, you know, chime in today and talk about a very interesting topic. A woman's miseducation of a grown man. This should be very interesting. Let's talk about it. So I believe that first and foremost, we have to understand what shapes the perception of a man in the eyes of a little girl, a teenager, and of course a woman. And I think it begins with understanding when the young woman is born into the world, what type of man is going to have influence over her life. Because we do understand that there's two types of men. You have a grown man and you have a grown male. And these two figures are very much different. And so I believe that if a young woman was born into a family with a grown man that's going to actually be, influencing her life, I think that it could either be her biological father. It doesn't have to be a biological father. It can be a grandfather. It can be an uncle, a cousin. It could be a family friend. It could be a stepfather. But that role is very much important in the shaping of a young woman onto a woman's perception of a male. And so let's say whomever that male figure was, if he was actually present, engaged, and actively supporting her growth and development, I believe that would actually give her an opportunity to actually trust men, to have a trust for men and believe that men can be depended upon, which would help her in her development as far as feeling like she has a rich identity and feeling like she's worthy of love and affirmed, because that's really what, the masculine perspective brings to a young woman's life. He affirms her in order to help her, mature and become a whole person. And so, hey, a grown man is one that's going to show up. He's going to go to work every day. He may have an entrepreneurship, a business that he's building, but he's going to do that every day. Because honestly, a grown man makes a decision for his life. He makes a decision on what kind of man he's going to be. And so that grown man, he would have decided that this is my family. This is my tribe. And so he does the best that he can. Of course, he may struggle and go through, different life events, but in all, he's going to be there for his family. He's going to pour into that young lady. He's going to, show her that she's loved and worthy of love. And a lot of times this is very subconscious and psychological. We don't really know that this is what's taking place, but it's very, very crucial. And then on the other hand, if whomever that male influence is, whether or not that individual is, or many individuals, is a grown male, and a grown male shows up very differently in life, because we got to even take into account that grown male may not have had the things that he needed in order to feel, secure and whole as well. And then a lot of times, if he didn't have what he needed from his father and even the mother plays a major role in the children's lives, and definitely a male's life, because she actually is the first, experience with nurturing and caring. And if she is not present and unavailable, these are how the things kind of shape the young man and influence his life and his ideas about life and love and relationship and the opposite sex. And so if he had, a male figure in his life that was, toxic and a lot of chaos and turmoil in the home, then yes, he would feel very insecure and not worthy even, of love, and don't even believe that love is a real thing. And so this is why we need to talk about this thing. We need to get these types of things out in the open so that we can really address these things in our community, so that we can heal and move forward. That's what it's all about, family. Moving forward, and being the best that we can be. And so we do understand that males are actually vision oriented, meaning, that they receive a lot of stimuli through their eye gate, which means that, hey, if they're attracted and they like what they see, then guess what? There's a charge that happens, where there's a drive that's inside of them to actually, go and be one with the opposite sex, as we'll say. And then a lot of times, based on if he had a positive experience in his upbringing versus a negative experience in his upbringing, then that thing can sometimes show up, very badly, meaning, they may cross lines and could not be as wholesome, in their approach to the opposite sex. And then they grow up to be men with these same ideas and a false narrative on what a man is. And and so a lot of times, if a guy had not been taught how to be a man, a grown man, I'll say, had not been taught how to be a grown man, or he didn't have that example or a man to model himself after, then yes, he would, show up and be very, very harmful emotionally, sometimes physically. You know what I'm referring to? And so this is how we see a lot of grown males show up in life, because they didn't have what they needed. And so a lot of, females, they seeing this thing, and if they didn't have what they need, it really is a vicious cycle. If they didn't have what they need and they're not secure and they're feeling insecure, then they believe that that's what a guy is. That they believe that that's what a man is. And that is the furthest from the truth. It's a very different thing, a grown man and a grown male. And so a lot of, females believe that, okay, when a guy approach you, they don't know how to vet a guy. They don't know, to really look deeper and look at his character and whether or not he moves in integrity, whether or not he's responsible, whether or not he has hardworking, traits. He knows what that is based on his upbringing as well. And this is what leads to our misunderstanding, not understanding one another. And I really believe that we need to come together and start talking about these things. We need to come together and heal so that our family structure can become more, foundational and solid, so that we can have a chance going forward. I mean, we can't even begin to talk about our economic, you know, position if we can't get our relationships right. And so that's really why, I want to come on and just talk about, life and love and, relationships, so that we can rebuild, and let's dispel some of the, the wrong information that we have gotten, and understand one another. And at a later date, we'll talk about the miseducation of a grown woman versus a grown female, because it's a difference too. It's very different. And of course, we hear it, we see it, social media and whatnot. We see a lot of the different behaviors that's it's not that pleasing. It's not that pleasing. And so I want to be a bell ringer. I want to be one to come and start the conversation. Let's dive into this thing, and let's really see what we can do in our community, and see how we can become whole again. Because we are a great people. We have so much potential, but a lot has happened to us. A lot has happened to us. And a lot of times people don't really want to talk about the root of our circumstances. They just want to talk about the fruit, what we see, the behaviors and whatnot. And hey, we got to get to the bottom of it. And so I just want to leave you with this. Like I always say, always live, always laugh, and always love. Life is what you make it. So yes, family, let's make it authentic. Until next time, organically me, Tamika, signing off.